What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and there's a lot going on in economic news and Congress, legislation, a lot unfolding, and this is your stimulus package update and stimulus check update. Now, right now we have inflation at a 40-year high. We haven't seen this high inflation since the 1980s. In addition to that, we have a Russia and Ukraine war that's causing oil and gas prices to spike as the United States has cut off Russian oil supplies, and we're also battling with a pandemic that has thrown our supply chains out of whack. And right now, the costs of goods are just skyrocketing along with gas, and we're hearing that in addition to that, all of the previous stimulus packages and provisions that were provided to states, well, they have surpluses of funds coming out, and they're now talking about more direct assistance to people in the form of state stimulus checks. Now, also, we've got federal level proposals that are currently hitting as they're saying people might need some more stimulus checks to help them out through this time. And this is federal for everybody in the entire nation. New legislation is being proposed. Now, I'm going to keep you up to date as information rolls out. We're getting bits and pieces, no official bills or things like that, but it's very likely it's going to be coming up here very soon. And I will keep you up to date on here on the channel, but take a look at what is coming out right now, you guys. Governor Mills has proposed payments of $850 to qualifying Mainers as she revises the budget. And we're hearing states are flush with cash, and they're sending out direct assistance payments to their state residents. Take a look. The total amount of direct relief to individual Mainers would be increased by $100 from what the governor had previously proposed. Here's another one, you guys. Durr will introduce a bill providing $500 to families for gas price and inflation relief. And yes, this is in New Jersey. A lot happening in New Jersey right now. Take a look at this. New Jersey gas tax would be rolled back to ease rising prices at the pump under a new bill. This is all just coming out in the past few days. And also, take a look at this. Maryland and Georgia, they have already halted their state gas taxes, saying, listen, we're going to remove that state gas tax so that way, hopefully, we can lower the price at the pump and help out our state residents. So you guys, a lot unfolding on state levels, and as I mentioned, legislation on federal levels. I'm going to be diving in, getting you caught up on the latest. So let's go ahead and do so. But first, also wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really means a lot to me. Also, consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth, personal finance, and real estate investing. Our latest flip house that we're working on right now. It's going to be a huge transformation. This is a big one. If you're interested, I'm going to keep you up to date on that channel and also on my Instagram at SteveRam3 to get live updates. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into the latest with the gas and inflation stimulus checks, pandemic stimulus checks. And before we do, though, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out my channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free to come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. And as I mentioned, if you got any specific questions for me or you want to get a hold of me directly, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so first up, link in the description below to this article. It came out over the weekend, and it says Maryland and Georgia, they halt their state gas taxes. And it says Maryland and Georgia on Friday temporarily halted their state gas taxes to provide some relief to Americans at the pump amid a spike in fuel prices. Maryland became the first state to enact legislation suspending gas taxes, which saves residents 36.1 cents per gallon for gasoline and 36.85 cents per gallon of diesel when Governor Larry Hogan signed legislation to halt the surcharge for 30 days. Hogan has also previously thrown his support behind legislation suspending automatic increases to the state's gas tax. This bipartisan action will provide some relief from the pain at the pump, and it is possible because of the prudent fiscal steps that we have taken, which have resulted in a record budget surplus, Hogan said in a statement. This is, of course, not a cure-all. The market instability will continue to lead to fluctuations in prices, but we will continue to use every tool at our disposal to provide relief to Marylanders. And Hogan and top state legislators said last week that they were working toward 30-day gas tax suspensions. Now, Georgia also temporarily suspended its gas tax on Friday with pause effect through the end of May. In the coming days, the suspension of the 29.1 cent tax on motor fuel and 32.6 cent tax on diesel will make its way to consumers. Georgia Governor Kemp, who is running for re-election this year, tweeted, "Though we can't fix everything Washington has broken, we're doing our part to lessen the impact on Georgians' wallets." And governor and state legislators in several other states are also considering moves to alleviate the impact for drivers as the U.S. sees gas prices reach new highs. The national average gas price was $4.26 per gallon on Saturday, with the country seeing the average reach a record high of $4.33.1 per gallon last week, according to data from AAA. However, not all governors are in agreement about pausing state gas taxes. Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signaled that she is likely to veto legislation that would put a 6-month pause on the state's 27.2 cent per gallon state gas tax, calling for a suspension of the federal gas tax instead, saying, "Listen, we shouldn't be pausing it on a state level. You should be doing this for everybody in the entire nation." Let me know your thoughts. Should this be paused on a federal level, state, both, neither? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, one of the arguments against this is they're saying that even if they stop it on a state level, will the oil companies bring the gas prices down as well, or will they just see bigger profit margins and pocket that? Now, also, I reported to you in a previous video that there has been federal legislation proposed that if they do that, to tax them on the difference of their 2015 and 2019 average price to where they're at now, take 50% of that and send it out in the form of quarterly stimulus checks. So, if oil companies decide not to lower the prices despite these taxes being removed, well, it looks like they might pay a hefty tax as well. All right, so next up is New Jersey, and link in the description below to this article came out over the weekend that says New Jersey gas tax would be rolled back to ease rising prices at the pump under a new bill. And it says State Senator Shirley Turner on Wednesday said that she plans to introduce legislation to roll back New Jersey's gas tax for 60 days as prices at the pump hit new record highs. The move is one of several announced by lawmakers in recent days amid the highest inflation in 40 years. The annual rate of inflation in the U.S. accelerated by 7.9% in February, led by a 43.6% average increase in fuel oil prices across the nation. Incredible, almost 50% increase. The average price of a gallon of gasoline in New Jersey was $4.26 on Thursday, a year-over-year increase by nearly 50%, according to data. The average price per gallon of diesel fuel was $5.15, and the high cost of gas is impacting our residents who are now spending a larger amount of their household budget to pay for gas and are left with a lot less for food and other expenses. When gas prices increase, it has a ripple effect throughout the economy and increases the cost of everything else at the same time, while we have crushing inflation that is already causing people to make sacrifices and forgo even basic necessities such as food and medicine. The New Jersey's gas tax is 42.4 cents per gallon. Wow, that is high. Actually, the fourth highest in the nation, Turner said. Her plan would roll back the tax for gas and diesel fuel to the 2016 rate of 14.5 cents for 60 days. So wow, cutting it back significantly. Turner's proposal comes a week after State Senator Edward Durr. He proposed legislation to give taxpayers an immediate $250 to $500 tax credit, aka a state stimulus check. Durr's plan was part of the state's GOP's larger Give It Back initiative, which would give a $500 tax credit to families earning less than $250,000. Single or individual filers earning less than $125,000 would get $250. Lawmakers at a federal level are also calling for their own measures to address soaring prices. New Jersey's U.S. Representative Frank Pallone, chair of the House of Energy and Commerce Committee, has called on oil company executives to explain why costs are so high and said the industry appears to be taking advantage of the crisis for its own benefit. As I mentioned to you, on a federal level, legislation is being proposed, and they're saying, listen, oil companies, we're suffering right now. You should not be taking advantage of this. You need to bring those prices down, and they're going to try to figure out a way to get them to comply to help out people as we're getting this 40-year high of inflation and oil and gas prices are spiking. And that is one of the arguments right now against the gas tax holidays and removing the state gas taxes, that even if we do this, Are oil companies going to comply and bring down their prices or just pocket bigger margins of profit? Let me know your thoughts. A lot of people are saying send out the checks, but also people are saying that that doesn't directly help those that are commuting more. And there might be people that aren't even driving that are just going to get stimulus checks. But a lot of people are saying that, hey, everybody needs it right now as we're still battling with the pandemic and states have surpluses of funds. As take a look at this, you guys. Governor Mills proposes payments of $850 to qualifying Mainers as she revises the state budget. And it says Mainers would get another $100 each under a revised budget proposal released by Governor Janet Mills on Friday, bringing the total amount of direct relief checks that would be distributed to residents from the state's estimated $1.2 billion budget surplus to $850 each. The governor's change package, which would be approved by legislation, is intended to help Mainers in the face of record inflation and rising oil and gas prices caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Mills said. Under the governor's proposal, the $850 check would go to taxpayers who earn less than $75,000 an individual or $150,000 for a household, and a group of about 800,000 people would be included, those that are relying on Social Security and retirement income as well, and the self-employed and certain business owners. They would all be included in this. Now, if approved as a part of the supplemental budget, checks would start being issued on July 1st. So that is legislation currently on the table from the governor. Sounds like it's making progress, and it sounds like it would equal more stimulus checks July 1st for those in Maine. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but that is pretty much the latest on stimulus checks on state and federal levels. A lot of proposals coming out. Seems like almost every other day now. There looks like there's going to be state checks going out and maybe even federal checks as legislation's being proposed. We're hearing about new creative ways that Congress is thinking on a federal level to distribute out new stimulus checks either on a quarterly or monthly basis, we're hearing. So a lot of information coming out. And like I said, I think as we progress closer to the elections, that we're going to be hearing a whole lot more about this because this is the midterm year election and Democrats, they want to stay in control. So it's very likely direct relief payments like stimulus checks, child tax credits. We're going to be hearing a whole lot more of this as we get through the year closer to election time. And I will keep you up to date here on the channel on whatever's available so that way you know what's going on. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out my channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth, personal finance, real estate investing, flipping houses, all that good stuff. And again, thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.